If you think your emergency fund will save you in 2025, think again. Because the truth is most people's safety nets are quietly losing value every single day. Imagine saving for years only to realize that your money is worth less when you finally need it. You did everything right, you saved, you planned, you built that cushion, but inflation, interest rates, and the changing economy have turned your security into a slow leak. Stay with me till the end, because by the time this video's over, you'll know how to turn your emergency fund into an actual financial weapon, not a ticking time bomb. Let's talk about something that everyone tells you to have: an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses. Simple advice, right? But in 2025, that advice might actually be hurting you, because the economy you're living in now isn't the same one your parents built their savings for. We're talking about inflation that refuses to go down, housing costs that keep climbing, and savings accounts that still barely pay you anything. So today, I'll show you why the traditional emergency fund is broken and how you can rebuild it using strategies the wealthy already use. Stick around, because mistake number 3 could be the reason your money keeps losing value without you even realizing it. For decades, we were told one thing: keep 6 months of expenses in a savings account. That made sense when interest rates were decent and inflation was stable. But let's put some numbers on this. Right now, the average savings account in the US pays around 0.45% interest. Inflation in 2025? Roughly 3%. That means your money is shrinking by almost 3% every year just by sitting there. So while you think you're being responsible, you're actually watching your purchasing power evaporate. Imagine this: you saved $10,000 2 years ago. Today, that same $10,000 buys you what $9,400 could have bought back then. You didn't spend it, you didn't touch it, but you lost money. That's the illusion of safety, and it's killing your financial growth. Here's the truth: the emergencies we face today are different. In 2010, your emergency was a medical bill or a job loss. In 2025, it could be an eye layoff, rent doubling overnight, or your insurance premium skyrocketing. A Bankrate survey found that 57% of Americans can't handle a $1,000 emergency in cash. And even those who do have savings don't realize that their fund might not last as long as they think, because expenses have outpaced savings growth for 5 years straight. Think about that. You're saving in 2020 as dollars for 2025 as expenses. That math just doesn't work. So the question becomes, how do you build an emergency fund that actually keeps up with the world you live in?
Most people think emergency fund means cash sitting in a low-yield account. That's outdated. In 2025, liquidity doesn't have to mean idle. It means accessible when you need it, but still earning something when you don't. Let's break it down into layers. Layer 1. Your true emergencies. This is cash you might need in 24 to 72 hours. Think car breakdown, medical bill, or job loss. Keep this in a high-yield savings account paying at least 4.5% or more. Layer 2. Near-term reserves. This covers months to 2/6 of expenses. Keep it in treasury bills, money market funds, or short-term bond ETFs. You can still access it within days, but it actually grows. Layer 3. Long-term safety net. Once you've covered the first 2 layers, the rest can go into assets that beat inflation, like diversified index funds or I-bonds. That's how wealthy people stay liquid without letting their money sleep. Let's talk psychology. Wealthy people don't see their emergency fund as cash sitting in a corner. They see it as capital in motion. The middle class keeps money in checking accounts for safety. The rich keep it in short-term assets that earn them passive income even when they're waiting. Here's an example. A typical American household keeps around $8,000 in a basic savings account earning less than 1%. Meanwhile, a wealthy household might hold that same $8,000 in T-bills earning 5%. That's an extra $400 a year for the same money, just smarter placement. Over 10 years, that's $4,000 you didn't have to work for. That's how financial systems quietly widen the gap. Not through income, but through structure. Here's the part most people miss. Cash feels comfortable, but it's dangerous in disguise. In 2020, $1,000 in groceries lasted a month for a small family. By 2025, the same groceries cost $1,400. That's a 40% hit to your lifestyle, even if your income didn't change. So, while your emergency fund feels safe, the cost of everything around you keeps climbing. And if your savings aren't growing too, you're actually getting poorer every year. Think of it like this. Cash is like ice. If you don't use it wisely, it melts. The smart move isn't to avoid having cash, it's to store it where it melts slower and sometimes even refreezes with interest. So, what does a future-proof emergency fund look like? It's built on 3 principles: liquidity, protection, growth. Step 1. Know your number. Calculate your total monthly expenses. Multiply by 6. That's your full safety target. Step 2. Divide by purpose. 1 month's expenses in a high-yield account. 2 to 3 months in short-term treasuries. The rest in low-risk investments that can be liquidated fast. Step 3. Automate your protection. Set automatic transfers every payday. Even $20 adds up. You're not building an emergency fund overnight. You're building a system that protects you for life.
Let's bring this home with a story. Meet Lisa, 29, from Ohio. She had $7,000 saved for emergencies. She felt proud until her car broke down, rent increased, and her job cut hours. Within 3 months, her fund was gone. She realized she'd done what everyone told her, but the old rulebook no longer worked. So she rebuilt differently. She split her fund into 3 layers: savings, T-bills, and index funds. A year later, when her laptop crashed and she needed $1,200 fast, she withdrew from her savings layer in minutes. Her money in the other layers kept earning quietly in the background. That's the power of building a modern emergency fund. It's not about having money just to spend later, it's about having money that keeps working while it waits. Meet Mark, 32 years old, a software engineer from Denver. In 2023, he got laid off during the tech downsizing wave. He had $12,000 saved. He felt safe. But then rent jumped 14%. Health insurance doubled. Groceries up nearly 30%. By month 4, his emergency fund was gone. Credit card debt, $7,800. Fast forward to 2025. Mark rebuilt his finances, smarter this time. He learned how wealthy people structure their safety nets. Now, here's what his setup looks like. $4,000 in a high-yield savings account for instant access. $6,000 in Treasury ETFs earning nearly 5%. $5,000 in a short-term bond ladder. And $1,000 in a Roth IRA money he can pull if needed. When his car broke down, he calmly used his first layer and replaced it in 2 months. No panic, no debt, no meltdown. That's not luck. That's structure. Why do we cling to cash? Because it feels safe. You can see it, touch it, withdraw it. But here's the paradox. The same instinct that protects us also limits us. In behavioral finance, it's called loss aversion. We fear losing $100 more than we enjoy gaining $200. So we play it safe. We freeze. We hoard. The wealthy train themselves differently. They design systems that allow both safety and growth to exist together. Their mindset isn't, what if I lose it? It's, how can I make sure I'm never forced to sell at the wrong time? That tiny mental shift from fear of loss to control over access is the difference between staying middle class and becoming financially free. Let's expose the 3 habits quietly making most emergency funds useless. Number 1, neglect. You built your fund years ago and never updated it. Meanwhile, your monthly expenses grew 20%. That means your 6 months of savings now covers 4. Fix. Review it twice a year. Adjust for inflation and lifestyle creep. Number 2, complacency. You parked everything in one account because it's easy. But easy is expensive. A 2% difference in yield on $10,000 is $200 a year. Wasted.
Fix. Move the extra layers to higher yield options. Number 3, fear of volatility. You avoid all investments because the market can crash. True, but inflation crashes your cash every single day. Fix. Learn risk allocation. Keep a small part of your safety fund in assets that outpace inflation. Avoid these 3 mistakes, and your money starts working for you, not against you. Let's get practical. Step 1 will calculate your baseline. Add up your must-pay expenses: rent, utilities, food, insurance, transportation. Multiply that number by 3 to 6. That's your target emergency fund. Step 2, split it into layers. 1 month's expenses in a high-yield savings account. Months 2 and 3 in treasury ETFs or money market funds. The rest in short-term bond ETFs or I-bonds. Step 3, automate it. Set a small automatic transfer every payday. Don't think about it. Don't delay it. Just let the system grow. Step 4, our review twice a year. Your goal isn't to set it and forget it. Your goal is to set it and improve it. That's how you future-proof your emergency fund in 2025. If you're watching this thinking, great, but I don't even have $100 saved, listen closely. Everyone starts at 0. Here's your simple game plan. Open a separate savings account today. Yes, today. Set up a $20 auto transfer every week. Use roundup apps like Chime or Acorns to save spare change. When that balance crosses $500, something changes. You start to care. You start to build momentum. The amount doesn't matter as much as the habit. Every $1 million portfolio started with a single deposit. Wealthy people don't call it an emergency fund. They call it a reserve. They don't ask, what if something bad happens? They say, when something happens, I'll have options. They manage risk instead of running from it. Their cash is spread across different buckets, some earning, some hedged, some instantly liquid. When a crisis hits, they move money like chess pieces, strategically, calmly, and while others panic, they use their reserve to buy opportunities. That's what real financial freedom looks like. Control under pressure. Here's the twist no one talks about. Your emergency fund can be both safe and profitable. Let's say you have $10,000. You move half of it into treasury ETFs earning 4.8%. That's for $180 a year. Passive income from your backup fund. In 10 years, that's over $5,000 earned without extra effort. That's the power of compound interest. And here's the mindset upgrade. Every dollar in your emergency fund should have a job, even if that job is just to wait. It should wait intelligently, not idly.
So, is your emergency fund useless in 2025? No, but the old version of it definitely is. If you're still following 2010 advice in a 2025 economy, you're quietly losing. But if you adapt, if you structure, layer, and let your money grow while staying safe, you win. Because safety isn't about hiding your money. It's about commanding it. Now open your banking app tonight. Look at your savings. Ask yourself, is this money safe? Or is it just sleeping? If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe for more US personal finance strategies, and comment below how many months of expenses are in your emergency fund right now. Together, we'll make our money smarter than inflation. This is your Mythix reminding you, it's not about how much you save. It's about how smart your savings work for you.